Let me also stand on the protocols that we have already established and thank all of you for being here. Thank FNB and NASRIA for this great partnership. I'm very happy to be associated with this great partnership. FNB, I don't see them very often. NASRIA was with them a few weeks ago when they were launching this logo. But FNB, Conrad, it's good to see you here because I haven't seen you for quite a long time. So I want to share one secret with you. During COVID, there was one time that Conrad received more phone calls from me than from his wife. But unfortunately, his wife didn't complain about it. Because I was responsible for coordinating the acquisition and the procurement of the vaccine, particularly the vaccine from China, and we wanted to move the vaccine as soon as possible to get it here. And he was coordinating the private sector arm that funded the transport and the insurance from China. And we managed to get the vaccine, I think, within a period of 2 weeks from ordering to deliver it in Namibia. So partnership do work. So I think we must give him a round of applause. Now, for me, this is a dream come true. A dream come true because in my previous life, on the 28th of October 2010, we launched what we called a 5-point or 5 agenda point. And that 5 agenda point was about the transformation of the financial sector. That culminated in the drafting of what is called the financial sector strategy, which was a 10-year strategy, which was launched in 2012. Now, those of you who have seen that financial sector strategy, you may see that it has got, because it only came to an end in 2021, it has got 6 goals to transform the financial sector. And one of those 6 goals was to improve access to finance in Namibia, but particularly to SMEs. So that was 2012, starting in 2010. Now, today I'm not going to talk about the financial sector strategy as a whole, but I want to go through the memory lane and just explain where we came from. Because we are launching a very great partnership, a great product here, but it has got a genesis. And I believe it's important for us to understand that genesis. So as we want to work to look at how do we reach this goal of improving access to finance, particularly for SMEs, we realize that SMEs need a number of things, not just finance. We realize that SMEs need a whole ecosystem that is working for you to be able to improve access to finance. As we continue to do research, we realize that SMEs need to be coached, need to be mentored, and therefore one of the programs that we crafted was a mentorship program. Took a bit of a while to establish, but I believe some of you are aware that there is now a mentorship and coaching program that is being coordinated by the Development Bank of Namibia. That was actually started last year. They launched, they were piloting it before, but it started to be operational last year. So that's one pillar of the ecosystem. We also then realized that SMEs do not only need loans, they also need what is called patient capital, because some of the businesses are not able to generate enough cash flow at the beginning. They may have the potential to grow and scale up their activities, but the cash flow at the beginning of the project will not be able to enable them to pay back the loans that they have borrowed plus interest. So they need some patient capital. So then we agree that we also need to establish some kind of a venture capital fund. Took a bit of a while. We're still not yet there, but you probably have seen that now DBN has advertised positions for trustees who are going to manage these funds. So we're not yet there, but we are on our way there to establish what is called a venture capital fund, because apart from loans, you also need equity money that is a bit patient, because it's going to help you to grow your business, and it doesn't have to be paid back immediately. So that's the second part of the ecosystem. We also realize that the SMEs need a market. That's why you probably have seen that this year we have launched what is called a code of good practices. And the code of good practices is ready, trying to create a market through a government procurement system. To say SMEs, youth need to be empowered through procurement, and therefore there are specific services and products that are reserved for the youth and SMEs, and if they are competing with other businesses, they should enjoy preference, and that preference is defined in the code of good practices. So that's trying to solve the market problem. But then we also realize that SMEs, for them to get loans, many of them do not have collateral, because these are some, entrepreneurs who have got great ideas, but they have not lived long enough, worked long enough to accumulate collateral. They don't have the property that the banks will require. They don't have the insurance policies that banks will require, and therefore there's a void in the system. We then decided we need to relaunch the credit guarantee scheme. Again, started to work on that. It has taken many debates, discussions. There was even those who were saying that, but that's not going to work, because for those who are old enough, will remember that we had a credit guarantee scheme that was coordinated by the Minister of Trade and Industry then, but it then collapsed. So there were those who were saying that, but we had something like that before, so it can't work. But we realized that sometimes the problem is not about the product, but it's about how you design the product. So we went back to the drawing board and redesigned that product and say, the previous one, the risk sharing was, I believe, 20%. And that created a bit of a problem. And secondly, it was already, the partnership was not very clear between government and the private sector, especially banks. So we went back to the drawing board to redesign this product. So that's why in August 2020, we launched the credit guarantee scheme. Again, DBN was the coordinator, but as we started with DBN, some money came from the Bank of Namibia, some money came from the Minister of Finance. We then realized that to scale it up, we need an underwriter. That's how NASRIA came. DBN continued to administer the scheme at the beginning with NASRIA underwriting the policy, because basically it's the insurance policy that you're buying, to be able to cover your losses, you bankers, in case your customers, your clients do not pay back, at least there's something that is going to cover you. We then realized that it's important that maybe DBN should actually not administer this whole program. It should be handed over to NASRIA. So the administration has now been handed over to NASRIA. It's no longer with DBN. Although DBN is still in the background, they're helping here and there, NASRIA has taken over the administration. So this is another component that is is trying to complete the puzzle. Remember how I talked about you need an ecosystem. You need a whole range of things to be able to remove the constraints for SMEs and the youth to get access to finance. So I'm very happy today that FNB and NASRIA have taken this a step further, because FNB, and I want to congratulate FNB, when this product was launched, FNB was one of the first banks, in fact we only had two, FNB and Standard Bank, that joined immediately. Although when the product was designed, all the bankers were involved, but FNB and Standard Bank were the first one to join. Others are still in the process of joining, so we'll be happy to welcome them soon. But we want to congratulate FNB for being the pioneer in this very same product. Not only are they the pioneer, they are now taking it a step further. So they have already dispersed the window that was available to them. They are now going back to NASRIA and say, we want more. And that's why we're here tonight. Because they believe, and I believe they have the passion to serve the women, to serve the youth, and to serve SMEs. So what they have done here today is something that we should all be proud of, and I believe we are all going to take this opportunity and grab this opportunity to grow your businesses. Those who are still thinking about establishing their businesses, to establish your business so that you can create opportunities for others. Because when you create a business, when you establish a business, you are going to create an opportunity for others, you are going to employ others. So we'll call upon all of you who are here, entrepreneurs, that this is an opportunity worth exploiting. We also want to thank FNB for utilizing the loan scheme, the COVID recovery loan scheme. You may recall that in January this year, we relaunched the COVID SME scheme, which is basically a product, a loan product which is given to SMEs to recover from COVID. This scheme is given to the Bank of Namibia, but again underwritten by government, by the Minister of Finance. So the ultimate guarantor is this government. The idea is really to help SMEs to recover from COVID, because COVID was a very devastating pandemic that has destroyed our businesses, and therefore it's important for all of us to work together. And this was a way of government, together with banks, saying, we need to help our businesses, we need to help our entrepreneurs, because it's important that we rebuild this economy after COVID. So again, I want to congratulate FNB for that. I believe this partnership between NASRIA and FNB is something that is worth emulating, and thanks NASRIA for reaching out to FNB. Hopefully I know you are in discussions with other banks. I'm not sure whether they have now been approved. I see Dabona here saying she's now happy. So I hope that we are going to have a similar event with other banks where they are also going to join in availing finance or access or improving access to finance to our women, to our SMEs, because we need all hands on deck to revive this economy. So I want to congratulate NASRIA, I want to congratulate FNB. What we are launching today is something that we will all be proud about in the future, and I believe the younger generation and those who are going to be grandmothers and fathers, I believe your grandchildren are going to be proud of you for launching something of this nature. I thank you very much.